All right, previously we learned about adding leaves to an employee's profile. So if we quickly look at Mana's profile, we'll see that we had added an accrual for her for vacation days, and we had recorded 2 days that she was off. And then if we go to her summary, we can see Mana's balances. Now, in most organizations, you would have a leave policy where employees accrue leave maybe on a monthly or a yearly basis based on their job types. And this is more of an automated system, or a consistent system rather, and you would add the leaves to the profile. However, TechlifyHR has a way for you to automate this, and we looked at leave so far on an employee's profile, but there is an entire leave module here. Let me just walk you through the leave module. So firstly, the when you come to the leave module, you can see a leave calendar. And this calendar, if you remember in the previous video, we had added Mana's vacation days. So you can see that show up on the leave calendar. And this is a company-wide calendar. And again, if I come here, I'll see that, hey, Jenny was absent on this Friday. She was on vacation on the Saturday, which is a little bit weird. And then John was absent on the 13th. You can also filter this calendar by company, branch, department. As it gets very populated, you can filter it and view the data, right? And you can click on a record on the calendar to see more details about the leave, the history, who approved it, and that type of thing. Now, if we go to leave requests, we're able to see all the leaves history for all employees. And yeah, here's one cool thing. You'll see that even though Jenny applied for vacation day on the Saturday, May 3rd, we'll see 0 hours were checked because it's a non-working day, and TechlifyHR automates this functionality for you. Now, let's look a little bit more though about building that automation that I spoke about, and that's done through leave policy. So if we go to leave policies here, this is where we're able to tell TechlifyHR how to automatically give leaves to employees. So let's create a policy, and let's call this standard leave policy, and let's make this effective. You cannot backdate policy, so let's say we'll start this from the second half of the year. Actually, the second half of the year starts July 1st. Right, I'll hit save there, and then we can go into this leave policy. Right, so in the leave policy now, we're able to specify that what are the leaves that employees get and how often they get these leaves. So in our organization, we'll give each team member one vacation day monthly. So then I can say that, hey, from July 1st, we're giving one vacation days monthly. It's being accrued monthly, right? And then we can say at the end of the period, let's say an employee would have accrued more than, the period has ended and the employee would not have used all of their vacation days. Can vacation days get carried over to the next period? And let's say we're using calendar year as our period. So at the end of this year, some team members would have accrued 6 vacation days. Should any of those get carried over, can they use this year's vacation days into next year, or is it that we can't do that? In our case, we'll say, hey, a maximum of 12 can go over to next year, all right? But if you allow your vacation days to build up to more than 12 and the year ends, only 12 will be available to you for next year, and you would have lost anything above 12. So I'll go ahead and save that. And then I will say that also from July 1st, we're going to give sick days to employee, sick leave, and they will get 6 sick leaves, and this is yearly. However, none of this is carried over, right? So if you don't use your sick days, if you get sick next year, that's for next year's sick leave. And I'm going to hit save. So that's here we've built out our standard leave policy, and you can have as many policies as you need to. This is just an example of one. And we built out our standard leave policy, and we're saying, hey, any team member who uses this policy gets 1 vacation days monthly, and 12 gets carried over to the next year at a maximum, and they get 6 sick leaves yearly, but none gets carried over to the next year. Now, what I'll do is I'll assign this leave policy to a team member because it doesn't Now you need to still tell TechlifyHR who are the team members that this policy will apply to. So if I go to Jenny's profile and let's say I added a new employee, you'll see that, hey, the system tells you that there's no leave policy assigned, and you can just click this plus button and say assign a leave policy. And even though the leave policy starts on July 1st, you can even specify when this employee should be assigned this leave policy. Of course, if you choose May, nothing will happen because of the dates, but you can also assign this employee this policy at a later date. So I'll select July 1st. And then remember we talked earlier, a few seconds ago rather, about carryover, right? And carryover happens when we revise the leaves. So here you can tell the system that, hey, is it on a calendar year, meaning the 1st of January? I want you to revise my team members' leaves and check if anything carries over. Or is it from the 1st of July? And in this case, we'll use calendar year, right? So team members get new leaves on a calendar year. And I'll hit save. Good. Now, what happens here is that you now see that this leave policy is assigned to Jenny. And once this leave policy kicks in on July 1st, automatically leaves will get created for Jenny. Every month she will gain one new vacation day, and you will see this gets incremented monthly. And if you click on the accruals here, you will see that every month one new record will be added for Jenny. And of course, 6 sick days will be added for Jenny immediately on July 1st. So that's how you can add the leave policy to an employee. The other way you can add leave policy to the employee is directly from the policies page. So if I browse back the policy page, you'll see a list of employees who are part of this policy. So there you go, you see Jenny here. And even a summary for these employees. Hey, how many days were accrued as part of this policy, right? And then the other way you can add employees is through the employees add form here, and this is a multi-select function, and you'll see all the employees who are not a part of the policy. Of course, you can't select Jenny twice, so I'm going to go ahead and add everybody except Mana here. Similarly, I will start them on July 1st and we'll revise on a calendar year. So I'll hit save here, and we'll see all of our employees are now on this leave policy. So that's how you build a leave policy and you configure your leave policy.